in the morning pronunciations.
Come on, Zed.
Right? And of course, your good friend with you.
Yes.
Yeah, working partner, I would say. I'm Katie Ray, and I'm the coordinator and manager of the food bank and all the projects that we run with Sammy down at Christ the King Church in Beaumont Leys.
Okay, that is nearby the Tesco.
We're on the doorstep of Tesco's, literally. So we don't even have a road between us.
No, so it's literally behind Tesco. So
Yeah.
you come out of one of the entrances, and on the doorstep is
Right, for those of you who are not in that particular area, what is that area called in Leicester? Beaumont Leys.
Beaumont Leys,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't familiar with that area, it is one of the big stores there.
It is the biggest store, yeah.
Practically the biggest store
In Leicester.
in Leicester, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
With a huge car park. So it's very convenient to have your Christchurch there, isn't it?
Absolutely convenient, yeah. We've got lots of different places sort of on our doorstep as well that is very useful to have. We've got lots of community services, we've got a leisure centre, we've got lots of other shops as well.
Got the library
We've got the
there.
library.
Yeah.
We can signpost people to different services if they're struggling or they're having difficulties or need advice. So we're very well located.
Of course, we also have in the studio today one of our very hard-working gentlemen in the community. If you'd like to introduce yourself to the good people of Leicester.
The ones that are awake.
Awake, yeah.
I'm Arif Varaji from Help the Homeless Leicester. It's pretty explanatory what it is, Help the Homeless Leicester. So we help the homeless in Leicester on a wide variety of issues.
Now, Arif, most of you will know him by his Hollywood name, which is Jedsi.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
And of course, I always wondered where that name came from, you know.
Sometimes I wonder, but I've had it from when I was about 10, 11 years old, I think. So I don't even know where it's come from. It's one of them kid things that happens. And
Great.
Yeah.
Now, of course, when we are up here early in the morning and the program today is listened to by people abroad in different countries, now, when you have a time difference, then for us, early morning, we're up here early in the morning. There, we're getting a feedback here from our studio manager. He's giving us a feedback of what we just said.
Wow.
It takes him a little time, you know, to be fully awake in the mornings. So Suraya Adam has joined us. So Suraya, start forwarding this to your database on all your social media platforms. In fact, Suraya, do me a favor. Start ringing them and waking them up. That's what I'd like you to do today. Ring them up, wake them up, and we can move on forward because a lot of exciting things we're going to talk about today. Now, the theme, Katie, this week here at Radio Ramadan Special, EAVA 102.5 FM, is community, cohesion and diversity. That's what it's all about here this week, because we are here to build very strong links between each other. And in order for us to do that, I like to know what you do and you like to know what I do. And of course, we all like to know what Jedsi is doing.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
So together, if we can pinpoint onto him, he's going to tell us what he's doing. And he's talking to me with sign language. He wants me to put my...
take them off, the ones on your head.
Right, he wants me, my producer here, he just controls the whole program from the back of his window and talks to me in sign language, but sometimes he gets his signs wrong because he's only just learning sign language and he hasn't quite mastered it, right? And so on. So, of course, in the morning program, you get distractions like that because you are still charging up, right? Now I can see Samia here is fully ready.
I am ready to go.
She's ready to go. So, Samia, explain to us what is your role exactly at Tesco and how do you link up with the Christchurch nearby?
Okay, so I'm a community champion at Tesco. My role is to engage with the local community. So schools, hospitals, churches, anything to do with community and charity. We got working with Katie at Christ the King because I think we started supporting you with the food bank
Food bank
initially.
was the initial
Yeah.
thing, which
So-
was about 6 years ago now. 6
Yeah.
7 years ago. Quite a
So
while ago. Yeah.
the last couple of years it's built up to a very strong relationship now. So we support in various different ways. So sometimes we get given clear to zero, which stock is not on the books. And always first port of call would be Katie to ask if she can utilize it in any way, like baby products or, you know, cereal bars, anything, any food stuff, non-food. Katie gets first pickings because it's literally on our doorstep, and she serves the wider community by the food bank, also by doing other things in the community as well.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes she'd do, like before she would do like a lunch Tuesday.
The lunch
was
club,
it
yeah.
Tuesdays?
Yeah, Tuesdays, yeah.
And you know, it was literally a walk in, a walk out. So yeah, that's how we got to make links with Katie. And on that relationship, we've built up. Like last year, we did the Holiday Hunger Club, and Tesco released me from the store to go and work with Katie at the church for 6 weeks to prepare sandwiches, you know, and serve the kids that would normally go hungry through the school holidays, because at school that's the only meal they get.
I think it's a wonderful initiative by Tesco, and it's an example of these corporate giants putting back into the
Absolutely.
community.
Yeah, yeah.
And all they're doing is like investing
Yeah.
their time and their costs
Yeah.
for this initiative. And without more corporate companies coming on board, we cannot go forward and do the work that Jetsi is doing here with Help the Homeless. We could not do it, could we?
See, where we're actually situated in Beaumont Leys, we work mainly with quite large families, where I would imagine in the city centre there's most people are single. So that's the difference. And people don't realise, like in a place like we cover Beaumont Leeds, we cover Braunston, we cover New Parks, we cover Moacre Hill, Stocking Farm. We don't actually work with any postcode, but there are main areas that we work with. But we're working with very large families. We're talking about sort of single parent with perhaps 6 children. And they've most probably been evicted as well from their homes, and they're sofa surfing in different people's homes. And it can be quite sad to meet these families. So it's not just about helping them with food, it's about supporting them in many other ways as well. And having our church as a place to come to if they need to talk to anybody, or if they need to seek any advice, or if they need to be signposted to some other service. So it's a much bigger thing than just food.
Of course, as you will know, Katie, that in this month of Ramadan, the Muslim community, they energize and they do a lot of collection of all charity from throughout the country. Yeah. And it has been time and time proven that the Muslim community, they collect more charity than any other community in the UK.
We've had some amazing support from local Muslim people. I mean, one example, I have a lady, I don't actually know her name, but she comes every 2 weeks and she knocks on the door of the church and she gives us £11, which is a really odd number. And I kept thinking, why does she give us £11? Why not 10 or 12? Because it seemed odd. And I spoke to Sammy about it, and she told me that
we believe that it should be an odd amount.
An odd amount.
Odd amount number, yeah.
And it's just really lovely what she does.
And without fail, she's there.
Every 2 weeks, every 2. And we have lots of other Muslim people ring us and say, can we do anything? Would you like us to sort of support you in any way? So we do get a lot of input from the Muslim community.
That's the beauty of the work that you do, and the families that you're serving. I think everyone comes on board because they actually see the benefit that it has, and they want to get involved, and
they feel that they can approach.
Exactly, and that's another thing. You've got to be approachable as well. And the thing is, with what you guys do, how you're like feeding people and helping these families and stuff, it's a heartstring pulling thing. So everyone wants to get in on the act because they all want that feeling in the heart that I've made a change, I've made a difference, you know, and that comes like with our work as well. That's why the volunteers we get, etc. Like on the market, for example, when we have our market meals, they can feel the elation and the happiness straight away. It's not something where you're donating and you think, oh, is that really going to happen, or when's it happening? It's an immediate.
It's a bit like a lot of people go to, say, for example, the church I belong to is the Church of England Church, so we're Christians, and a lot of people only go to church on a Sunday. So they go on a Sunday and they stay there for the service and they pray and they sing, and they go away and they feel good, and that supports them then for the week. But my belief is that it's a much bigger thing than that. You know, I'm not at church this morning. I was going, but I decided to come here instead because I know throughout the week, all of the things that I do in the community, I get a much greater feeling. And it's a similar kind of feeling as well. You know, you feel good. You feel like that you've done something good. You feel good about yourself as well.
Of course, many people, they would not be so aware, and they would say it's a church, it's a mosque, it's a gurdwara, it's a mandir. And now it is good to see that a lot of these establishments are extending the works that they do in all communities, in the city of Leicester, in many other cities. Now, I'm going to quote you all an example in a gurdwara in Dubai, in Sharjah or Dubai, I'm not too sure, one of these places, that they every month of Ramadan they used to open up for one day for the iftar for the Muslim community. This year they've opened it up every day for the iftar. Now they're vegetarian, so they only cook vegetarian food there, but they're showing an initiative that this is the level of community cohesion that they are exercising.
100%.
And reaching out to, this is true diversity, isn't it? That throughout the month, they're not only celebrating that month with the Muslim community, but they're also partaking in it and ensuring that they're all doing iftar over there.
Yeah.
And this is.
I think that's really good.
But it's like it's like what we do at Christ the King Church. I'm very fortunate. I get a lot of foods donated. We're part of Fair Share as well, so we subscribe to them financially to get food delivered. The co-op are really brilliant now. They support us a lot with vegetables and fruits. We get that twice a week, but we get quite large quantities, and we don't always need that quantity. So over the last year, I've linked up with lots of other projects.
The
I think
Midland.
Arif, I've done some with you.
Yeah, Ginda.
Midland
Lunga.
Yeah.
Which now Arif is part of, they've all linked up now, haven't you? You've all
Well, we've been linked up for a while anyway. Like Ginda's always bounced ideas back off me, and likewise. And I'm always been a person that believes that you should always network with people, especially in the field that you're in as well. Because end of the day, when you've got people that support you in what you do, you're always going to be successful.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of them people that, all right, this is my group, and I'm not going to work with that group. You know,
that's part of my role, to link other people, community leaders with other leaders.
Ginda, for example, I've sorted him out with like the sandwiches that we get on a Wednesday. So there's a factory in Lutterworth, and anything expiring on the Thursday they give us on a Wednesday, and this sometimes could be 500 sandwiches literally that they'd have to pay for to dispose of. So what I said to Ginda said to me that, could you link me up with them for Fridays basically, I'll go and pick them up. So now every Friday he goes and picks the sandwiches up from Lutterworth.
And Ginda, he comes to me every Wednesday and he collects breads and bakery that we've got and vegetables, and he uses it for some of the Leicester market feeds, but what he does excess, he'll take it to hostels now as well, homeless hostels throughout Leicester, so nothing goes to waste, otherwise that would have to be thrown away.
And again, even with the sandwiches, because obviously they're vegetarian, they don't serve meat, so anything meat content, egg content, I think they give to hostels and stuff.
Yeah.
So really, what's happened, I think definitely over the last 12 months, that all of these projects that are happening, feeding projects around Leicester, we've all sort of linked up.
Yeah.
And we've formed a network.
The public out there, they will often read about these and in the Leicester Mercury, or they'll see it on social media. But not enough is said about how all these different communities, all these different religions, they work together. And to make things happen. And I believe that there must be more awareness, right? It's got to be in the face all of the time, not only in the city of Leicester, but throughout England, so that we can develop our whole essence here. What we are talking about here today is community cohesion and diversity. People are thinking that charity is only in Yemen, in Syria, in all these war-torn countries, wars that are inflicted by man, yet there is poverty here in UK, right at our doorstep. Now all of you guys will identify with the poverty index of this country. And it's shocking, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, an example, last summer when we did the Holiday Hunger Programme, that's the packed lunches. It wasn't just for people, for children that come from homes where parents are not working. We've got a lot of families that are on very low income. They are working, but to actually pay the bills and to function,
They have to make a choice.
they've got, so we gave them a really good summer because they were able to come and collect packed lunches. There was no stigma. It was open to any family, and that was the beauty of
no
it.
questions asked.
No questions asked.
I remember seeing that on Facebook.
Yeah.
It was so popular.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the fact that it's needed,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really
It's a
sad.
shame.
As long as the need's there, people like
Yeah.
ourselves and other groups
Yeah.
are obviously going to step
We're
up
going to
and try
step
and fill
up
those
and
gaps.
During that time, we had a Muslim lady, didn't we?
Yes,
and
she rang me.
It was Eid during that period.
Yeah.
And we had a Muslim lady who contacted Samia.
She wanted to gift Eid presents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? Yeah. And so I contacted her back and I said, look, we're running this thing here, the Holiday Hunger. Would you like to come to the church and hand out Eid gifts there? And she did. She came along. We let her get involved, and she was handing out Eid presents.
And she was explaining
on
to the
Eid
children.
day. It was actually on Eid day. She took time out
Amazing,
to come in on Eid
amazing
day.
gifts. You know, look, but really nice
Just
quality
think
gifts.
how beautiful that is. So now you've got
Yeah.
a Christian church
Yeah.
with a Christian person running it, yet a Muslim person's helping her to do the food thing, and then another Muslim lady's coming with Eid gifts,
Eid gifts.
to give out in a church to people of all faiths.
Yes, literally.
And
And it just was so
She was
beautiful.
explaining to the
I couldn't
children.
have put that better than Arif.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm learning from you. I'm picking up
Yeah,
tips.
And that's what we're trying to achieve. You
Yeah.
know, the doors are always open.
Now, guys listening out there right now, we have quite a few people waking up now. So, Abdul Sattar, start calling everybody that you know, all 442 people that you know in your database, and wake them up. And let's all do this together. Now, inspiration, Samaya, is an essential ingredient, isn't it?
It is.
For success in everything that we do in our lives, right? So you three guys have inspired me to go and do more out there. So everybody, we need somebody out there to inspire us. Now, when I see that you three are all doing the work that you do, and you understand poverty more than anybody else does out there, because some people who live in far out areas, you talk
They've never
about
come
inner
across it.
city, you go
Yeah.
out of the inner city,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
don't touch.
No.
They do not touch this kind of poverty that you experience every day. Now, Arif will experience it more harsher than you would. So, Arif, give us some example of typical kind of a person that walks through your door and he's there in dire straits. Tell us about some case studies.
Well, basically, as you can imagine, the typical homeless person, to what a lot of people have the connotation stereotype with, is potentially one of the people that would walk through our doors. So, dirty clothing, wet clothing, ripped clothing, maybe not smelling the best because of the fact that they've been out on the streets. And a lot of people on the streets do have the revolving door, the catch-22 situation of the drink and drugs, etc. They'd come in and say, look, basically I'm homeless, and then from there it could be, if you've never seen them before, then we'll sit them down and have like a triage session, so to say. So we'd ask them basically, how are you in this position? You know, what's caused you to be homeless? What benefits are you on? What you're not on? And then the key one here is, have you got an active substance problem? Are you actively using whatever it could be? So that is key for us then to decide how we can then go forward, because unfortunately, when there's an active substance addiction involved, whether that's drugs, drink, whatever it is, that kind of limits us to the kind of help we can then provide, because we feed people on a regular every week and we provide emergency food parcels, etc. But then we also clothe people, and there's a lot of groups out there that will do the clothing and the feeding. But basically, what we believe, myself, my other two colleagues, Corey and Vanessa, is that is just sustaining the problem of being homeless and being hungry. So you're helping in that sense. But then, what do you do to, solve the problem? And to solve the problem is basically providing a stable roof over somebody's head, a permanent roof over someone's head, a base that they can say is my own, and they can then kick off from there and then see which avenue they can go down. Now, that's where we feel that we've hit a niche in the market, so to say, and it's a game changer, because the thing is, we're not tied up in bureaucracy and red tape, because there's three of us that make the decision. So if we decide this person needs our help in this way, right, yeah, do you agree? Yeah, should we do it? Yeah, boom, done. So we can transfer money over to landlords for deposits, for example. Bed and breakfast, we put people that are sleeping on the streets into B&Bs. take them off the streets when it's like cold weather and wet weather and stuff. And once they kind of in the B&B and they're under our care, we've decided, all right, there's no active addictions involved, etc. We do get them tested at Turning Point, which is a council-run health service, and they have to sign an information sharing agreement as well. So whatever the results come back, we get access to that. And as long as we're satisfied and we're happy that we can help this person, we'll put them into a B&B. Now, in the B&B, we'll use that to information gather, like the triage service, and get everything confirmed. And once we're happy that we've verified this person and we feel like we can push this person forward to our network of landlords that we've got. And we've got to remember, in this day and age, not a lot of landlords want tenants that are on benefits because of the typical stereotypes that come with that. So they trust our verification process, that we've actually vetted this person to an extent where we're happy to put them in there, so our relationship with them doesn't get messed up with the landlord, and that the person we're putting in won't damage the property or the usual, whatever you can imagine what happens with properties when they get damaged and stuff. So once we've basically identified that yes, we can put this person forward into a house, what we'll do is we'll take them out of the B&B, we'll pay the deposit, and then we get the benefits form filled in with the landlord's details, so the payments will go direct to the landlords, so there's never an issue of the money never getting to the landlord, and that's the person in there. So in the last just over a year, we've managed to house 33 people. So that's potentially 33 people that we've taken off the streets that may be sleeping in a doorway, in a park, on a park bench, in a industrial bin where we found people before as well, in one of the council-run hostels, etc. So yeah, we've actually made a dent in the homelessness figures to the point where now the mayor's office, and there's also the crime commissioner of Leicester, Kirk Master, was in yesterday. His offices are basically looking to potentially help us and see how they can.
Right, we're going to get back to you all in our next session, so don't go away. We'll be back very, very shortly after a short break. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brothers and sisters, we are back here to talk to you about many good things that are happening in the community. So Sam John Paul has woken up. Sam, you better start connecting us with all the people on your database. You are listening to ZED on the Ramadan special, EAVA 102.5 FM. We have in the studio here 3 wonderful people I introduced you earlier on. We have Samia, we have Catherine, or we're going to call you Katie,
yeah.
And we have the one and only Jedsi here in the studio. Fatia Saad, finally you've woken up. Jazakallah khair for that. Fatia, connect us to all the sisters out there this morning. So Samia, you're going to tell us more now about these good initiatives that Tesco has initiated with the community fund.
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
Okay, so the latest thing that we're going to be doing is the Tesco and the Christ the King Church. So we're doing a community fund day. So the thinking behind it is all the money raised from the community fund day will be then put into holiday lunchbox, which is very similar to what we did last year, Holiday Hunger, where kids rely on schools for their main meal, but through the school holidays, they don't get that. So we'll be providing a healthy packed lunch for them to come to the church and take away with them. So that's one of the initiatives. I
mean, sadly, the reason why we're having to go down this route is because Leicester didn't get any funding this year for, even after having a very successful project last year. So we decided with Sammy, with Tesco's, that we would definitely still do it, because last year we sent out 5,885
there was
lunches,
demand for it, yeah.
and the demand was phenomenal. And there's going to be an expectation. It's going to be the expectation for families in Leicester that they can come and get a packed lunch.
Yeah.
So we have to fundraise that money. So this is why Sammy came up with the idea
that we should do it off our own backs with Tesco, Extra Vermont Lees and Christ the King Church. But anyone can get involved, anyone can contribute if they want to make a donation, monetary or food-wise, just get in touch with myself or Katie. They can get involved, even if you want to come and volunteer, come and speak to us, and, you can get involved with the fun day as well as, the holiday lunchbox.
So all of you listening out there, you can see an example here of how industry like Tesco and a local church called the Christ Church in Beaumont Lees are working together, and they are partners, what we call strategic partners, right? They understand, and here in the community, we often feel that all these wonderful people who do this work that they do it as volunteers. They don't get paid for it, and they have time that they give to the community. So when you give time, everybody listening out there, that is what we need from you, is your time. Sometimes it's not your money, but it's
time.
your time.
Yeah,
right?
Time, yeah.
And that is what it's all about. The whole essence of inspiration, time is included in that, isn't it?
Yeah, and commitment. That's a real big sort of part of it all.
Yeah,
you've got
day
to feel
in, day out.
You've got to feel passionate, and you've got to commit to these kind of projects, because it's nice that odd people will dip in and they'll offer something, but we need people as well that will give consistency.
It's
will
very
be there.
Important. Reliability.
Yeah,
so if you say, right, we need this and this doing, and they'll say, yeah, we'll be there, but then at the last minute, if they flake out, it doesn't do the project any help at all, because then we're stranded, because we rely solely on volunteers.
Are
they're key.
It's like us. I mean, for our Wednesday meals that I keep referring to, we've got on my WhatsApp group potentially 70 people on there. We only need about 15, so we have a surplus. So now what we're going to have to be doing is like a rota system. So you'll have your key people that you need, like the guys who knows how to like serve the rice rapid, get the queue going. The person who serves the dal, for example, the person who makes the teas and the hot chocolates and the coffees. So they'll be there every week. But then we're going to have like the rest of the volunteers on a rota system, so everyone gets a chance and it's not too crowded in the market stalls. So
is this rice and whatever else you're serving with there? Do let me have the menu.
Do you want the menu?
Why not? Is it freshly cooked or is it donated to you?
Yeah, freshly cooked and donated.
And who cooks it?
Right, so let's start from the start of the store. Right, first and foremost, we've got 5 Greggs stores on board where they give us the leftover products for the day. So that's Greggs in Oldby, Greggs on Uppingham Road, Greggs near the marketplace, Greggs on Gallatry Gate, and then Greggs in Haymarket. So our volunteers pick up the food from there. So you can imagine we have sausage rolls, pasties, and donuts and all sorts of cakes and ice buns and whatnot. So that comes from Greg's, as well as sandwiches as well. So we've got like 5 Greg's worth of sandwiches that come and food that comes from there. Then we've got the sandwich factory in Lutterworth. So some weeks we could have 100 sandwiches, some weeks we could have 300 sandwiches. So we've got the sandwiches there. Then you've got the rice and the curry, which is cooked fresh every week at the temple on Colton Street behind Charles Street. So they cook it for us every single week on a Wednesday. I go there, pick up the rice in a container, and I pick up the curry in a pot as well, and that's piping hot. So they give us that every week without fail. And then we have basically pasta. So it could be noodle type pasta or big pasta or fusilli or whatever it is, that's cooked in the Knight and Garter pub, which is near the market, opposite the city rooms. So they cook that for us every week on a Wednesday as well, and they cook that in their kitchens. So the places we work with where they cook fresh food, they're all licensed by the council. They're all inspected for hygiene reasons, and they've got hygiene rating and stuff. So we're never going to fall foul of the laws of that it's being cooked in a private kitchen and stuff. So that's another thing that was key as well, to make sure we can carry on doing this for as long as we have been doing. Then after that, you then got a load of crisp from like Corefresh, for example. Used to give us a pallet every month of like different snacks. I need to collect from them actually. And then chocolate bars, whether that's branded or non-branded. We have like loads of different mini chocolate bars and stuff. Moving around, we usually get a lot of fresh fruit as well. From Maulana Lokat, from the Peace Centre, for example, he gives us bread as well. So we have that on a separate stall, and then we spread it around to soft drinks, and then hot drinks and biscuits and stuff.
I got to stop you there now, right? Because you're going to start getting a queue of people coming there tomorrow, right? So we're going to cut his list short, right? So Catherine, we're going to come back to you now, and you're going to tell us more about the value of this cohesive work that you're doing that promotes a diversity, right? Because all the time you read it in the newspapers, you hear it on the press, there's a big push, everyone talks about cohesion, diversity, and there's not enough happening. We are now probably 4th generation in this country that are here. In every city we have 20 languages minimum spoken. That is just around the Evington area. So in every city, how many languages we have now, which we did not have 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 30 years ago. And each year we have new challenges to face. Now, you in your church come across all different people.
Yeah, well, our doors are open to any any nationality, any faith, and that's the beauty of Christ the King Church. But for me personally, it's been quite an education, meeting people from different backgrounds as well. And I find that it's me as a person. I think it's helped me grow more as a person. I mean, I still would like to know more, but I didn't know anything about the Muslim faith or mosques or anything like that until I started working closely with Samir. And I've learnt an awful a lot about those faiths, and got to know a lot of people from different backgrounds. And I just think that, the network that we've developed in the last year has been something really special, really, that we've actually achieved, and it can only grow more and get better.
Definitely. I think as you engage more and people get to see the real you. I started what I do was in 2014, and what I used to do was go out onto the streets taking suitcases with me and then helping the homeless via that way. And then what used to happen was we used to get volunteers coming from like places like Earl Shilton, Barwell, so where there's probably not an Asian community and especially not a Muslim community, and they'd come with me on the streets, and at the end of it they'd be like, you know what, mate, you're all right, you. I said, what do you mean? And they'd be like, well, you're not like what we hear on the news or in the papers and stuff. You're just normal. I said, well, that's because you've never had the chance to meet real Muslims, and what you're going to get thrown at you via certain media outlets and stuff is what you're going to believe, because not through any fault of their own, but because they've just not interacted with Muslims because they never had the chance to, or even Asians, for example, or Muslim people. So I used to get that loads.
So you feel that the community at large is totally misled?
The ones that don't have first-hand experience of actually interacting with genuine Muslim people or Asian people, for example, yes, they are misled.
Because they have a very good experience of it. Because they're like you say, they'll say, "Oh, you're all right." your normal.
I would like
you know.
I would like to see the mosques open up more. Because they're beautiful buildings, and I've been in quite a few mosques, but as a tourist in other countries.
If you can arrange it for me to have the keys to all of them, I'll go and open them up for you. Right?
Because they can be very accessible.
Me and
like the churches.
my brother Jetsi here.
That.
Yeah.
We'll go and open them up.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I think it's important, especially when we've got such negative connotations with Islam in this day and age. That the doors are wide open for everyone to see. Well, look, there's no silly mantras.
So with the church, the community fund day, coming back to that, we're going to be hosting it. The base will be at the church, Christ the King Church in Beaumont Leys, but we want to open it up to everyone. So we're doing there'll be a barbecue, and can I just also say there'll be a halal barbecue as well. So there'll be halal food there, so everyone is welcome.
Well, we have halal fish.
Halal?
Halal fish.
Halal fish. Fish is always halal.
It's a battle of the halal.
And vegetarian as
Vegetarian,
well.
halal, non-halal.
When is your fun day?
It's on the 22nd of June between 11 and 4. It's a Saturday.
Right, guys.
And everyone is welcome.
You know what? It would be great to have, because the whole idea of the Community Fund Day is to bring
all the communities together.
All communities together.
Yeah.
Now, what we're doing is we want people to promote what they do, what their projects are. It would be wonderful if we had somebody from a mosque
to come
was
and
there, and gave and talked to people about
Yeah.
what happens in a mosque. I don't know. Do you have some some things you can hand out?
Essentially, could have.
Just to make people
Have you
more
posted
aware.
Pardon?
Have you made a poster yet?
We're just in the
We're in
process,
the process of doing
that.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
speak to Briscoe and let him design you one.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
could do, yeah.
If
But
not,
we've
if you've not
got.
got anybody.
Do you want to get?
What?
Well, we'll have a meeting and then.
Here we have
a.
we've got a meeting started here now about designing posters and everything, right? So guys,
Yeah, but everyone can get involved in the community
Yeah.
fund day. We
No.
want people to get involved. We want people to approach us and say,
when a person like Katie here is even asking questions that what's a mosque all about, then we all have reason to step up and make it happen that everyone knows.
And imagine that's a person like Katie who already interacts with Muslim people. Think about people that don't interact with Muslim people, or don't get the chance.
I must have a million
When
questions.
you think about it, I've thought about it a lot. I've been into some amazing mosques, but never in England. So I go to Istanbul, I go to the Blue Mosque because I wanted to go in and see what it was like. I wanted to understand it a bit. I've been to the Cairo Mosque in Cairo, which is phenomenal. It's so big. But yeah, I've got them on the doorstep here and I've never been in one.
How about if I take you to one?
Yeah, I'd love to go.
Yeah?
I'd love to go.
And
yeah.
I can... what do you think?
I think it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Because I go to the church nearly every day now.
She's always at the church.
I had some of my managers, they actually said, have you changed faith? I'm like, why did you say that? You're always at the church. I'm like, because we're working together. We're trying to bring all different faiths and communities together.
But we could even...
We want to be approachable, and I think the mosques should do that and be more approachable.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a stigma that it's a scary place, because right now, I can guarantee you 80 to 90% of the non-Muslim people think mosques are scary.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
they do. They're scared of mosques
because they're not sure of what goes on behind.
Exactly, and there's always there's that social input where mosques are negative.
Well, there is a lot goes on in the mosques here in the city of Leicester. Now, where we are lacking is awareness of all that's going on. So if you look at the Peace Centre, that is a mosque come community centre. So the new mosques that are coming on board today are very much like that, mosque stroke community centre.
Yeah, diversity needs to be there.
So when we do go on a tour, I'll take you to a couple of mosques, which are very local here, walking distance.
We've got one in Beaumont Leys.
Yeah. Home Farm, isn't it?
Home Farm.
Yeah, I've never been to it.
Nobody ever goes there. It's quite sad, really.
I think moving forward, talking about like mosques and stuff, I think there's a definite need for mosques to have some kind of community centres or community outreach attached to the main building somehow.
Okay, what it is, I'm here many years, and these mosques, when they were first initiated, started out in a terraced house in a room.
Yeah,
and
I remember
they
those days.
never had the infrastructure to design their mosques around community outreach, and that is the reason today they are where they are. And one of the hardest things in this world is change. Even your body. Try going on a diet, brothers and sisters. See if your body likes it. See if your body allows you to go on a diet. The body, when you say the word diet, absolutely goes into panic.
Yeah.
And then you go on a diet, then a week later, 2 weeks later, your body controls your mind, you know. So change is like that. It's a humanity thing, that change is not easily happening all over the world. So I think from this program today, we all gathering.
I think mosques should actually have like open days where they invite schools
open days. You know,
so start with the children because they are our future.
They do.
So
they do have things like that where schools come.
See, I don't hear nothing about it. I don't see it being advertised as much as it should be.
Schools would advertise though, but they do definitely go.
What about using some of the buildings in a more community way?
Like at the church. So a typical day at the church would be in the morning till 3 o'clock. They run a playgroup every single day.
It's a proper funded,
and that's on one part
council playgroup. It's not just.
It's not just run by a few people.
It's First Steps. So they run there 5 days a week. So we're a playgroup.
Let me share a little story with you regarding mosques and being open, etc. A couple of years ago, when it was really cold in the winter, winter was approaching, I contacted a mosque that was quite close to town centre, and basically it needed to be close to town centre because of the homeless people that attend the meals.
There's a list there for you. Participating mosques who have all these community initiatives, right? And
I think they need to be a bit more vocal.
You can see that, and what it is, there are mosques out there, but awareness is where it's lacking.
Yeah. I mean, if they contacted me, you know, I'm Tesco community champion, but if they contacted me and said, you know, we want schools to get involved, I can make that happen because I've got links with schools. You know,
of course.
I go to the church and say, look, this is happening. Yeah. Get the word out there, and I think there would be a bit more involvement.
So you
from
see that
other communities.
Visit My Mosque initiative,
yes.
And that was a wonderful initiative that was countrywide, and more of that locally needs to happen.
Yeah.
So this is what at least we are moving forward now. Yes.
Are there any mosques in Leicester that open up as a community facility as well?
Yes, there are mosques that open up like that, but now we're talking to most of them who have the facilities to create the avenues of coffee morning.
Yeah, it's nice to have like a hub.
Luncheon facilities for the older people. Like so, some of the community center, like the Mayman Center, is not entirely a mosque. It's more a community center.
Yeah.
And they are showing an example there where every Thursday they cater for the old people in the community.
Is that a mixed population? Because that's the other issue as well.
Yeah.
They might open up for
the Muslims,
the Mayman community.
Yeah, and it may be just generating sort of Muslim people. That can happen anywhere. It can happen in a church. You know, a lot of people. You know, when you start a coffee morning in a Church of England church, people think, oh, old people. Straight away, you know, they're the only ones that are going to go and have a cup of coffee on a Tuesday morning and a chat. And we've changed that at Christ the King because we run a Tuesday morning group called Tuesday Friends, and we have from 16-year-olds to 80-year-olds there now. Yes, it did start off as a morning for like the old age pensioner type coffee morning, but it's changed over the years. And it's opened up to any nationality. So we have Asian people go, we've got Chinese people go, and I think that's how we should go forward to develop, because I think you get into a danger zone that it still becomes isolated with just one population actually going to these groups, and that's the hard work that you have to do to get it out there.
I think so. There's a lot of awareness that I'm picking up from here that we need to put forward. So in this week, all we're talking about is cohesion and diversity, and how important is your church, your gurdwara, your mandir, your mosque to take part in these.
I think it's a massive thing. If all religious places opened up their doors, we'd have a better community. I think we could cut homelessness down. We could cut down the poverty because everyone would be willing to help each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's, if you work together, you work stronger. And it's you can see it with me being with Tesco, helping with the church. But from there,
that saying? Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, well, that's that saying.
When I sort of started to build the relationship with Tesco a few years ago, and then I met Samir. you know, we were we'd never met before, and we was very much a working relationship.
But now it's like family.
We're friends
It's
now.
literally like family.
Yeah.
We go out together, you
We
know,
socialise
out
together.
of working time.
Yeah.
And you know, we always coming up with different, because when one project's coming to an end,
we're thinking
of another one, because we don't want to break that relationship
Yeah.
of working together, because we know we serve the wider community. So you know,
So
it's a brilliant.
So
thing.
Sneha is exercising her mind. It's all about inspiration. We talked about it earlier on.
Yeah.
Inspiration, it comes from each other. When we are engaging with each other, as Jetsi had mentioned earlier on, networking,
Yeah.
and then things happen.
It does.
Yeah. I mean, the church actually went down for the bags of help, which you've gone for as well, haven't you, Jesse?
Yeah.
You're waiting on that, aren't you?
Got an email saying that we're going to take longer than the normal.
Yeah, there is a bit of a backlog, because I am pushing it, you know, the Bags of Help scheme, which is a blue token scheme, and Christ the King Church actually went on that scheme and they won £1,000. That was last year. So, you know, I'm trying to push that, because there is money out there to be taken from Tesco. Literally, they are giving it away.
Great. Let's
Just
go
begin-
for it,
go for
Jetsi.
it.
Jetsy's already on it. You know, any other community
We need
projects?
the postcode of Tesco so we get down there
There's
straight
loads-
away.
There's loads of stuff.
Zed, you've got me. Come on.
Great.
What would you want?
Our producer is really under
can
pressure
see,
now.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
telling us when is a fun day. I think he
Okay.
wants to come there before
Right.
anybody else.
Okay.
Especially now that she's mentioned that it's going to be halal barbecue there.
Yes.
Well, our fun day is on the 22nd of June, obviously this year, and it starts at 11 o'clock till 4.
There are tables, aren't there?
Yeah, with the actual area that we're hoping we're going to have fantastic weather, and it's all going to be outside.
Okay, where is it at, Samir?
Okay.
It's outside Christ the King Church in Beaumont Leys.
And the leisure centre.
And the leisure centre, so it's on the green area. The Christ the King car park as well, that's going to be utilised
It's
as well.
basically behind the Tesco.
It's literally behind Tesco.
There's a big there's a big pedestrianised area. It's just
there-
no cars or anything. So we're utilising that whole space.
And there will be tables for stall holders at £15 a table. And all that money obviously will go into the Holiday Lunchbox project.
Yeah.
So anyone can get involved. You know, we've got face painters, we've got barbecues, we'll have a bouncy castle.
We've got
There'll be
Radio
a-
Leicester
yeah,
there.
There'll
We've
be a
got-
jazz
Get a
band.
henna
There'll be a
artist
jazz
down.
band.
Say that
We've
again?
got-
Get a henna artist down as well.
If you can find
henna,
one, if
yeah.
you can source one, Jetsy, send them my way.
All right, cool.
That, we want to make it as diverse as possible.
Yeah, and you know,
so we want
to invite.
representation from
I've got two
everybody.
people here in the studio. They're looking forward to coming. They're you can see them in the window. Young Fatima, she's going to come to the centre
great.
for sure.
Yeah, if you know
definitely.
any musicians or anything, you know, of I don't know, Muslim musician or Hindu musicians, we've got a
Anything will
jazz
go.
band. We've got a jazz band as well.
So we want people to get involved. Can I
we've
give you a
got,
number, Zed?
A number 4.
To, you know, if anyone wants to contact me regarding the Community Fund Day.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Number is
So it's 0786
0786
0181
0181
405.
405.
Yeah, and that's my number. Katie?
That's
My number is, now let me hope I can remember it. Yeah, I do, I know it. 07584 017093. So anyone can contact me on that number as well.
Either of us, and we'll give you more information, point you in the right directions, and you know, just get involved. It is.
It'd be great for the families because we've got like a mini sports day. We've got Adi from Pink Lizard. He's going to be doing like a penalty shootout.
Hopefully, we'll have a kickboxing
We've
taster
got
session going on.
kickboxing sessions going on. You've got we've got some stalls that are going to be helping people, the community. Like we've got someone who's going to be helping to look at people's utility bills and how they can actually save money and
Support group people will be there from fibromyalgia, for example. You know, we're trying to get anyone and everyone involved, so it's bigger and better, and anyone can, you know,
The
make
police.
use.
well,
Got police
definitely
there.
myself and Jetsi are on board.
Perfect.
Brilliant.
Spread the
shall-
word for us.
and,
Share it.
Yeah.
Our producer is on board as well. He doesn't want to be left out. Of course, we'll need him to drive us there. So we need him for that.
Yeah.
So, guys, you know, take a day out, 22nd of June. It's a Saturday, and put some time out. And you might learn something. You might meet somebody there. You know, this
Make
is how.
links with the local community. It'll be brilliant.
Engagement in the community is
100%,
absolutely important. It's what I said earlier on, that your time is what we need. Your time is what the community needs. Everybody out there always set some time aside for doing this kind of work. So yesterday we were talking about this, and we're going to join you again now tomorrow on the breakfast show. So I have to say goodbye to all of you. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you for having us, Zed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we still on?